Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I am excited, very excited, to bring you Parasect Germain's final game, and indeed the final game in all, of Season 1 of the Pokémon Premier League. Yes indeed, this was the final game to take place of the final week. So it was the last one, and I have to say, we did this battle in call with a load of the other PPL members. So it was really very intense. Now, my opponent. This was hyped up from very early on in the PPL because my final opponent was Schady. Schady, one of the early frontrunners, one of the early favourites to win the tournament outright. He was sitting on the table just behind me, only on KO differential. And I was always very scared about his team. His squad, I'm going to move my toolbar very quickly and just take you through the squad that Schady is able to pick from. He has Landorus-Therian, Mega-Scizor, Clefable, Crobat, Mesprit, Nidoking, Zoroark, Heliolisk, Jellicent, and Regirock. Very, very serious stuff. You know, he abandoned the idea of sort of a Fire Water Grass core, which is what a lot of people like, sort of quite early on. And also the sort of Dragon Fairy Steel core. That's something else he didn't really go in for. He's just gone for mons that he knows how to use. They're very powerful, some of them are very bulky, and they have served him very well indeed. He has lived up to expectations massively in this competition. And I was always going to have a tough job trying to sort of get past him. But I realised that I might have the ability to do that, because what was going to help me out in this was the idea of the gimmick. Gimmicks were going to be very helpful for me, and I know how to use them. So, without further ado, let's get into the team I decided to bring with me. So, first up, we have Sableye. Bartolomeo is here. Defensive spread, HP and defense investment, Impish Nature, Willow, Recover, Knockoff and Taunt. And this is a very standard Sableye. I know I said I had gimmicks, and we will get into them, but this was to start things off, very standard stuff. It's got a lot of physical attackers, Landorus-Therian, Mega-Scizor, Crobat, if he brings physical, Nidoking, which is something I was desperately afraid of, I'll get onto that, and Regirock. You know, none of them particularly enjoy a burn, and if something does get burnt, if a few things get burnt, it'll tempt in the potential Cleric Clefable, give me a chance to switch out to something to take that on, because that's a big problem for me. Clefable is a fat pink arsehole of a Pokemon, so it's always going to be a problem to deal with. Sableye, you know, has the knockoff support as well, it can recover up, and you know, a last ditch taunt on something like a setting up Clefable could be really useful. So second up, I went with Meloetta. This is actually a different Meloetta. I managed to get a second one. Shout out to Chaos in the Sky for genning actually both Meloettas that I've used in this competition. Massive shout out to him. He's been incredibly helpful with genning, not just for me. So Chaos in the Sky, you're one of the real MVPs to this. But what I actually bought was again an Assault Vest set. Psyshock, Hyper Voice, Charge Beam, and Grass Knot. We're actually rocking 92 EVs in HP, 196 in special attack, and 220 in speed, which is not my usual Meloetta. I've bought Nazca Meloetta. Enough speed to outspeed max investment non-scarf Nidokings. I was worried about Nidoking, because do you remember last week when I was against Titos, and I mentioned how Meloetta was not a crutch, because his special attackers got access to coverage of Bug and Dark on the physical side. Nidoking is no different. If that Nidoking is packing Mega Horn, or God forbid Sucker Punch, it's going to do a lot of damage. So I need to be outspeeding. I didn't think he would pack the Sucker Punch. He has a Zoroark that he could turn to for Dark Stab. But if he has the Mega Horn, that could be a problem, and I need to be outspeeding it. Damage with the Psyshock. You know, Charge Beam works well against a lot of his mons. And then, you know, Grass Knot nice against the Regirock, that I thought he'd bring. Psyshock and Hyper Voice are just very much standard on Meloetta. So, third member of the team is going to be Registeel, and here is where we get into the realm of the gimmick. This Registeel, 164 in HP, max attack, 92 speed, adamant nature, banded. Yes, we have choice banded Registeel. Iron Head, Ice Punch, Earthquake and Shadow Claw. This is one of my surprise mons, one of my aces in the hole. Really nice to deal with the Clefable. Iron Head does massive damage, even to a fully physically defensive one, it's looking at 75%. Ice Punch, very nice coverage against things like the Nidoking, the Crobat, the Landorus-Therian. Earthquake is very nice against the Heliolisk and the Regirock, and it can hit the Mega-Scizor neutrally. I don't really want to be relying on Registeel to take down the Mega-Scizor if he brings it. Shadow Claw, nice for the Mesprit if he wants to bring that, and indeed the Jellicent. So Registeel going to be one of my sort of surprise picks, certainly by means of the set. So fourth is going to be Mega-Gallade. The captain is back. We have 36 in HP, 252 in attack, and 220 in speed. That speed is going to allow me to outspeed all forms of Landorus-Therian that are not Scarfed. Now, with that being said, I am expecting him to bring Scarf Landorus, because a Landorus-Therian that can't outspeed a Mega-Gallade is a dead Landorus-Therian. We're rocking Close Combat, Ice Punch, Leaf Blade and Shadow Sneak. I was fully expecting Colberberry Jellicent, who is a nice switch in to knock off Mega-Gallade, but Leaf Blade is a guaranteed 2-hit KO on anything that is called Jellicent. Even if it's max physical defense, still a guaranteed 2-hit KO. I liked the security of the Prior 2 Shadow Sneak. As you know, I've been burnt before by not packing Shadow Sneak on Mega-Gallade. And you know, he just hits very hard. That's just it. That's just the thing, he hits very hard. And yeah, he's there to punch holes, really. That's all he's there for. So, fifth up we have District 9, the Gyarados. And this is another one of my special sets. We have Gyarados with Intimidate, 4 EVs in HP, 252 in special attack, and 252 in speed, with a mild nature. The moves are Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Fire Blast, and Earthquake. Special Gyarados, ladies and gentlemen. It wrecks Shardy's team. Really does. It puts in a massive amount of work. With these coverage moves, I think it 2-hit KOs like 80% of his team, if it can outspeed them. Earthquake was kind of a last minute decision. I was going to go fully special with Dark Pulse for things again like the Jellicent and the Mesprit, but Earthquake hits the former for more damage and Hydro Pump hits the latter for more damage, so I thought let's just go with Earthquake, because also it's very nice for the Heliolisk if he's going to bring that. And yeah, Gyarados again, it's just one of my little aces in the hole, just to try and catch him off guard. Fire Blast is going to be really nice if he decides to bring the Scizor. The problem with Gyarados is that it's got a neutral speed nature, so there's going to be problems with outspeeding things. This is why we have the 6th member of the team, Zapdos. And I am going with the Agility Pass Zapdos again. I'm trying out that set. We've got Bulky Zapdos, 252 in HP, 184 in defense, 64 special attack, 18 speed, Thunderbolt, HP Ice, Agility and Baton Pass. The idea, get an Agility into Gyarados once the things that Gyarados can't deal with have been dealt with by other things. Either that or pass it into the Gallade, maybe even the Meloetta. And, you know, that's what Zapdos is there for. Tank hit, get an Agility into something else, and start killing things. Is basically what we're going to be doing here. So, that is my team. Let's get onto the team that Schady brought. So, on your screen you will see it. It is not the team I thought he would bring. Seriously, there are some things there I did not think he would bring. Nidoking, I was very sure was coming, because Nidoking can wreck my team. Same with Zoroark. Zoroark, I realised before this battle, I was like, I have nothing on my team for Zoroark. Not only that, I have nothing on my squad for Zoroark, because it can mess up Registeel with a low kick, which I recently learnt it got, and it can just do nasty things that I don't want to be a part of. Clefable I saw coming, and Landorus I saw coming. Crobat I wasn't sure about. Scizor I was surprised at. I did not think that he would be bringing Scizor, because I have 2 of the best stops in the game to Mega-Scizor, in the form of Gyarados and Zapdos. They can take any hit that a Mega-Scizor wants to throw at them, and fire back with something nasty. Zapdos gets Heat Wave, he's not to know that I'm not carrying it. I figured he would probably bring the Heliolisk or the Jellicent. When I didn't see Jellicent, I was actually a bit worried. And seeing Scizor made me think, because I knew that Schady had some strange plans. And I was just looking at Scizor and thinking, that thing might be packing Hidden Power Electric. He's seen it burn me before. Hidden Power Electric has been a thorn in my side ever since Ellie's Heatran speed crept my defensive Gyarados and destroyed me with it herself. So I was, in the back of my mind, I was thinking that, that Scizor could be packing the HP Electric, and that's going to come into the game. The mind game's going on with whether he has Hidden Power Electric, and they do affect my decision making at some points in the game. But yeah, as you can see, Nidoking, Zoroark, Mega-Scizor, Clefable, Crobat, and the Landorus-Therian. I had things for things, I had things for stuff. I thought, this game can go either way. It's been built from the start, this is going to be a game that could go either way. All I knew was that it was going to be a fantastic game. That's a guarantee. Both of us have our own individual ideas and special gimmicks and quirks that we like to play. So yeah, that's just going to be it. And I think, with that being said, we've wasted enough time talking about teams. You're here for the battle, let's get right into it and see how things played out. Okay, here we go guys, the final battle. Shady's issuing his challenge. He's going to lead off with his Landorus-Therian, but I have the better start. I'm going to lead with my Sableye. He's going to get the Intimidate, which really doesn't matter to me. This is not a matchup that Shady's liking. You know, I could easily burn this thing. He's going to make the switch into his Clefable, but I see that coming from several miles away. Going to go straight for the knockoff and get rid of this thing's leftovers. And that allows me just to gauge what kind of Clefable we're looking at. And I'm thinking it's got to be some kind of defensive set. It's leftovers, it's not Life Orb. He is going to go into Bradley. That is his Nidoking, one of the things I singled out as a real problem for my team. But I make a switch that works out very well for me into Meloetta. And he's going to straight up withdraw, which kind of tells me that he doesn't have the Mega Horn. And he's going to go into his Landorus, get the Intimidate, which, you know, obviously it doesn't affect a special attacker like Melo. Going to go for the Psyshock, and that does good damage. Very good damage, just under 50% to this Landorus. He's going to go for the Choice Scarf U-turn. I did calc it, and that came out as sort of Scarf variant damage, which I was expecting in the first place. And he's going to go into his Scizor in order to take any hit from me. I actually go for the Hyper Voice. That would have taken out the Landorus at that range of health anyway, and it does, you know, maybe 20% to Scizor, which ain't half bad. But I don't want to be taking a hit from this with Meloetta, not just yet in any case. And I go into Zapdos, and here's the thing. He's going to Mega Up and go for the Bullet Punch, but I was so convinced that he was going to be packing the Hidden Power Electric, which was why I didn't want to go into Gyarados at that stage, because if he'd have predicted that, that would have been a really early blow for me. Which is why I didn't go directly into Gyarados in case he predicted it and went for the Hidden Power Electric, which I said I was certain he was carrying. So I have Zapdos in here and we're looking good. He's going to withdraw his Scizor and go into his Nidoking, but once again, I do manage to get this prediction right. Gonna go for the Hidden Power Ice, actually predicting the Landorus, but this works out well enough. Does a nice 50-odd% just under to this Nidoking, and you know, chip damage on Nidoking, always a great thing. Always happy to see that. Don't want to be taking massive damage from a potential Ice Beam, so what I'm going to do is go into my Gallade, because Meloetta has taken a lot of damage. I'd rather have a safe switch if I want to bring it back in. He goes for the Ice Beam, and it does, again, just under half. So I'm going to Mega Up with the Gallade. And looking to just bop this thing with an Ice Punch early game and get rid of it as soon as possible. And he kills me with a Shadow Ball. I made a rookie mistake. I forgot that Megas don't get their speed upon Mega Evolving first turn. It's Mega Evolution 101, and I just completely forgot. So I lose my Gallade for no good reason. See, he's going to switch out. He doesn't want to take a hit from Meloetta. I was so close to just going for Psyshock. I actually went for Hyper Voice, predicting, you know, something like the Scizor to come back in. It's actually the Crobat, and we do just over half. With Black Sludge, that turns into just under half. So Meloetta does not want to be taking a predicted U-turn. Gonna go out into my Registeel. If this thing isn't packing Super Fang or Heat Wave, it can't touch me. And he's not. He's actually just a sort of bulky bat set with a Brave Bird, U-turn, Roost and Taunt. He's going to go for the U-turn just to get himself that initiative, and he's going to go right back into his Nidoking. And, oh, I wasn't quite real enough. The Earth Power was a roll whether he takes me out or not. I predict him to go for it, I'll go into Zapdos. I'm not real enough to go for the Banded Earthquake. and he gets up his rocks. To be honest, if I'd stayed in, he would have outsped and got his rocks up anyway. Upshot of this is they're there to stay. I don't have Rapid Spin, I certainly don't have that. I don't have Defog either. But I'm at full health with Zapdos, and I just sort of cross my fingers and pray that Ice Beam doesn't take me out. And I live with 15 HP, nice and 15 HP, gonna be able to go for the agility. And now we're looking interesting. Now is the time for me to pass an agility into something. So, what am I going to do? What am I going to pass it into? Well, we shall soon find out. Now we see if Shady's got his prediction hat on. I'm going to go for the baton pass and pass that +2 speed into Gyarados. And he gets the prediction wrong. I get the Intimidate. I think he was either predicting a Roost or maybe me to go into Registeel. Either way, he goes for the Earth Power. It doesn't affect me. And I'm able to outspeed on the following turn, take him out with an Ice Beam, which was glorious. Special Gyarados coming through with the KO, and Nidoking, who I'd identified as a big thorn in my team's side, is gone. However, he does still have this Clefable, who is proving to be an issue. Gyarados' Hydro Pump, even Life Orbed, it's not doing any more than about 40%. I couldn't take the risk of staying in. I have to go into my Registeel as my sort of direct answer to this thing, and he goes for Cosmic Power, which other than the Rogue Belly Drum was the only real setup I feared on Clefable. I didn't fear the Calm Mind. Turns out he has both, by the way. He's a dickish setup. But he doesn't want to stay in on an Iron Head, which would do nice damage. He's going to go into Landorus, but he forgets about Clear Body, so his Intimidate doesn't do anything to me. I'm going to go for the Iron Head, and ladies and gentlemen, Registeel has just taken out a Landorus-Therian, and an offensive one at that. And I have to tell you, we were in call doing this. Shady's reaction was priceless. Absolutely priceless. But he's got his Mega-Scizor in here, and you know, I can't deal with it with banded Registeel. He knows I'm banded by now. So I see now is the time to sack off Meloetta, and he's just going to go for the U-turn with Mega-Scizor. This is okay, I guess. It does allow me to get initiative, but my Mons are dropping like flies, which is a bit of a problem. Zapdos is dead on entry. And he goes into his Crobat, and I make a bit of a silly play here. I shouldn't have done this. I go into Gyarados to get the Intimidate, kind of forgetting that rocks are up. And there is a reason that I shouldn't have done this that I'll explain later. Anyway, his Crobat is going to go straight for the Brave Bird, no messing around with anything else. He's going to go for the Brave Bird, and we tank it. With 6 HP, we tank it. Gyarados is going to go for that big old Hydro Pump, nice and Hydro Pump Gyarados. And this is going to take out the bat. It's also going to take me out with Life Orb Recall. The reason that is a problem is I now have nothing to hit the Scizor at all on my team anymore. That was my last option against it. And he kind of knows this. And he's just going to go straight into said Scizor. I have Registeel, Sableye, and a dead-on entry Zapdos. It's not looking good. So he's going to go for the Hidden Power, finally revealing what I suspected all along. He has the Hidden Power Electric. And, you know, as I said, I suspected that. It's actually his best move to hit me as the Registeel. I go for the Earthquake, but as you can see, he's going to be able to roost off more damage than I'm doing to him with Earthquake. I mean, aside from like a Super Mega Crit, I'm not taking out this Scizor anytime soon. Not at all. So he here is going to go for the U-turn, possibly predicting me to switch into the Sableye to look for the burn on his potential Roost. So yeah, he's going to go for the U-turn. I actually just stay in. And he's going to go into the Clefable, knowing the time choice banded. And as you can see, this Earthquake really does such poor damage. Pretty much confirming this is max physical defense special setup Clefable. So what I do here is go into my Zapdos to sack it off to get some kind of initiative to try and claw my way back into this battle, which is a fast losing one. But he goes for the Moonlight on Clefable, which is just a problem. So his full set is Moonblast, Calm Mind, Cosmic Power, and Moonlight. It's an awful set. It's a horrible Clefable set. So I'm going to go into Registeel. Again, it's my only thing I have to hit this Clefable. It's my only thing I have to hit anything, to be honest. But he knows that I have to go for the Iron Head, and he knows that Scizor can take it. If I'd have gone for Earthquake, maybe things would have been different, but I doubt it. He outspeeds me and goes for Roost anyway, so, you know, I wouldn't have been able to take him out with an Earthquake. So I have to go for it there. Iron Head not doing as much damage as I'd like, and I'm going to go into Bartolomeo, my Sableye. And he's just going to go for a Bullet Punch here, which was an interesting play. you know, if he hadn't have roosted on any of the next turns, I'd have stayed in. I would have had a chance in this game, probably. As is, he's going to go for the Bullet Punch on Sableye. It's not going to do a lot. I'm going to be able to go for a Will-O-Wisp on the next turn, so at least I do get the burn on this thing. And this time, he's just going to go for the U-turn. And as you can see, doesn't do a lot. He's burnt. His Mega-Scizor is basically crippled at this point. But he does still have this this Clefable, who is a problem. And I can't live a hit. I can't live a Moonblast, even from a non-invested one. At this kind of range of health, it's not going to happen. So I just go for a last-ditch taunt, just in case he wants to try and set up, but Shady's a better player than that. He's just going to go straight for the Moonblast, knowing he can take me out from there, and down goes Sableye. So, at this point, it's Registeel versus the world, and he's not going to be knocking off my band and giving me the option to switch up moves. He knows I can't hit both Clefable and Scizor for any decent damage. He is going to leave in his Clefable as fodder, and this works both ways. It's the best thing for him to do, because he gets the safe switch into his final Mon. It also gives me the satisfaction of taking out this Clefable, which was, on a personal level, that was very gratifying. It also meant that Registeel gets 2 kills. Banded Registeel and Special Gyarados really putting in the work for me in this match, I have to say. And that Iron Head did huge damage to Clefable, nice and 80% or so. But he saved his win condition very well indeed, hasn't been tempted to go into Zoroark at all. He's got it at the back, it's at full health, it's Life Orb, it's got the low kick, and he's going to be able to take me down with the Zoroark, and that is going to be the game. So, that indeed is going to be the game, ladies and gents. Schady, an incredibly worthy opponent, taking the 2-0. He isolated his win condition very early. He knew that the Zoroark was going to be very important to him. And, you know, he resisted any kind of temptation to go into it at any point until he knew he needed to, until he knew it was safe to, until he knew basically the game was already wrapped up at that point. But, you know, I think we played pretty well in that game. The matchup was fairly even, I think. We both had some surprising stuff. I think it was actually a really good game. And it was nice on a personal level to see my gimmick Pokemon that I'd sort of set aside to deal with some of his other threats actually come through and work. The shame was, you know, the Scizor. It was going over in my mind whether he would have the HP Electric or not, and it was what stopped me from going into Gyarados early on, when I switched into Zapdos on the Mega-Scizor. If I'd have gone into Gyarados, I get the feeling he would have stayed in and gone for the HP Electric to try and take me out, and I would have outsped, and I could have gone for a Fire Blast and just KO'd it like that. And that would have been a huge threat, and actually in the end something of a game-changing threat. Gone. But, you know, you look back on these things and you see what you could have done better. Either way, it was a fantastic game, Schady. My hat off to you, my friend. Always a fun game, always a very worthy opponent indeed. Links to Schady will be down in the description below. Definitely go and check him out. He is one of the best battlers around for me. He's excellent, he analyses things incredibly well. And his battles are always fantastic. So go to his channel, check him out, give him your time, sub to him if you very much can. You'll be able to see his side of this battle, as well as all his other battles in the PPL, and all the rest of his excellent content. Speaking of the PPL, links to that will be down in the description below as well. You know, for all things PPL, all your PPL news, the Meet the Manager videos. There will be another video going up on that channel, I think pretty shortly. But I'll get onto that later when I finish going over all the links that will be down there. But yeah, links to Schady and the PPL, and indeed to Ellie. Shout out to Ellie for recording this battle for me. Thank you very much, my dear friend. Her links will be down in the description as well. So, that is it from Season 1 of the PPL. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching this video, and indeed any of the others that you may have watched. Thank you for taking this journey with Parasect Germain. I'll probably do some kind of, will I do a kind of wrapping up? Yeah, I'll probably do some kind of PPL wrap-up video, kind of pseudo-update if you will, later, going over everyone's final positions in the table, and, you know, talking about the season as a whole, and, you know, potentially when we might be seeing Season 2 of the PPL, which is certainly in the works, but yeah, as I say, I'll do that in another, I'll cover that in another video. But yeah, that is going to conclude this season of the Pokemon Premier League. Thank you once again for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed, And yeah, we'll definitely be back next season, but as I say, I'll go over that in another video. And I guess all that's left to say until that time is my final thanks for watching, and laters.